Hey everyone, how's everyone going? Today I'm joined by SpecimenGwent. We've finally got up and we've been talking about doing like a joint something for quite a while, so I'm glad we've finally caught up, man.
Yeah, it's difficult. We're other sides of the world, New Zealand, England, but we're here.
Literally other
We're
side of the
I'm
world.
just out of bed, but it's all right.
I'm just about to go to bed,
We're
so
yeah.
it's
So yeah, it's
finally.
pretty new to both of us, isn't it? We've not really done things like this before, so it's cool to branch out really.
Yeah, like because you were talking about it, I know for a bit on Twitter, and then I was kind of thinking about it. I managed to get onto Woody's podcast, the first episode,
Hmm.
maybe
Hmm.
a month and a half ago. So that was pretty cool. And after doing that, I was like, yeah, heck yeah, I could do this.
Yeah.
It's quite
Yeah,
fun, you
I don't feel like I'll be feeling the same afterwards. I'll be crying upstairs probably, but
know.
no, it
So
should be good fun, mate.
yeah,
Thanks for having me on.
no, it's you as much as me. It's just a fun way to like, yeah, because you stream and do YouTube videos or whatever, but it's you can't really just have like a chat, just like speak about
Yeah,
like all
that's it.
those little things that are like a. It's hard to have a full on like discussion without getting caught
Hmm.
up with like
I
what have
feel
you been
like
doing.
we normally disagree with our point of views as well, which could make quite an interesting
Yeah,
conversation as well. So,
yeah, I
but
like.
we're mates, so we can disagree.
Yeah,
We know
exactly.
how
I
to
think
argue
I
and
think a
that.
lot
So
of people like instantly think disagreement, like ooh disagreement, but you can like it's hearty discussion. That's what I like to call
yeah, that's it. That's
it.
it. I agree.
Yeah. So why don't we get started in here? So patch 3.2 has just come out. What it's like probably 24 hours ago, right?
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
it's just come
Pretty much
out.
bang on.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I've played about uh 4 hours on stream and then about 4 hours off stream as well. I'm probably gonna play a bit more later. You've
you're pretty far ahead of me. I've probably played like 3 hours, but I've probably watched streams for around 5 hours. I
yeah
watched quite a lot yesterday as well.
yeah. So we're both kind of up to speed, I guess, with how things are going.
Yeah. Hmm.
How have you found it?
Are you in pro ladder already? Because I'm down at rank 5 because I never
No,
do that.
yeah, me too.
I'm more of a one faction man, so I've not hit the pro rank.
Yeah,
But
it's been 2 seasons now where I didn't hit it, and last month I was like, you know what? I don't deserve to stay in pro later this month. Like, I don't
mhm,
deserve to be
mhm.
top 500. I memed too hard. I memed too early. You know
Yeah.
what? I don't deserve it. I got to fall back and I got to play serious. So I got to do some
Hmm.
serious play this month.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. I don't think I could pull that off. I'm just a one faction man, really. I've been playing some monsters though as well.
Mm.
Really like do love the new vampire archetype. I'll be honest with you, it plays like incredibly fun. I had a mirror matchup as well, and it was really fun. I'm not sure it's that powerful,
Mm.
but I think the design of it's really good. Like the neck rats are pretty damn good card.
Yeah, I agree. I missed the old Necrad. I did like the Drain, but
Yeah,
it
I did as
was
well.
yeah. The bleeding's cool. I like how vampires have actually got bleeding. Like the
Hmm.
vampires, dude. Like give them some bleeding.
Hmm. Yeah, I still feel like there's a few cards that need work, like especially the 5 provision ones. Apart from Necrat, I think it's called an Alpen, the one that's like under damages under
Yeah,
Bloodlink.
Alp. Yeah.
Um, I feel like that could have like a bit of a better ability, and then also the Fledding, which is it consumes a unit and
Oh yeah,
boosts
the
5 vitality. That doesn't really
Vitality
have
4, I
any
think.
synergy with any other vampires. But
Yeah,
if we could just like get some more synergy with those, it seems like it could be a really cool archetype going
yeah.
forward.
It's like a bit of Death Wish, maybe a bit of like
Hmm.
Vampire, but it doesn't really work good in either of them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like what they've done with it. To be fair, still not sure Monsters is where it's at. But I also saw Red Roam playing like an Arrakis Queen list and doing really well with it. So
Mm.
yeah, it seems like Monsters is in a pretty decent spot compared to last season, especially.
Yeah, I think they're definitely a lot better. Like vampires, like I think I kind of agree. Like they're not super like just decisively good. I think there'll be a deck
Hmm.
somewhere that has maybe like some of them. Like I don't
Hmm.
think there'll be like a full fledged like balls to the wall
Mm.
vampire deck. Maybe
Mm.
it really needs Crimson Curse to be boosted. So I mean that got put to
Yeah,
9, right?
yeah, which it's actually it does all right. Crimson's Curse as well. It's not
Mm.
too bad. You've got a couple targets for it when Regis Higher Vampire, the 10 provision one, and the Katakan as well. So you've got
Yeah.
a couple targets for it that are pretty decent for it. It's not a bad card, I'd say
It
anymore.
really just needs to trigger end of turn. That's really what they need to do.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That
Actually, yeah,
would, I
yeah.
think, put it into playable levels without being like overbearing really at all. It just means you can like, you know,
Hmm.
guarantee some points. Because right now, if you play Crimson Curse, there's a possibility that you just lose points It's no guarantee at all. You
Mhm.
kill a unit and they're like, oh, we're just like, maybe I'm running weather, but still, it could be that you
Yeah.
get no points, and that's not very good for a 9 provision card. You know,
I mean, the other thing about Crimson's Curse is it just makes the board look so much better when you've
looks
got stuff like
so
that going
good,
on.
man. Looks
That I
so
miss
good.
Skellige's Storm. Skellige's Storm, that's one of my personal favourites still. You never see it anymore. So
Hey, just run
I
it.
do like effects. I am a fan.
Yeah, me too. Me
Crimson
too.
Curse is,
When it first came
top.
out, I was like, oh, that looks so good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do
Uh,
like it a lot.
With like just
Awesome.
the meta changes going on, like
Mhm.
Fall Test and Dijkstra were very.
Yeah. Well, while we're just on monsters as well, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
just give a quick shout out to
Oh, I
Kel'Thuzix.
knew you'd have to. I knew you would.
She's my favorite card for a long time, but she is crazy right now. So she's now 9 base strength, 11
Mm.
provisions. Previously, 10 base strength. Sorry, 10 provisions, 6 base strength. Like you can throw her into almost any deck and just get value off her. Even if you play her in the back row, right? You just play in the back row for a
It's 9
9.
power.
It's just a Dow. But I know she's seeing playing Arrakis Queen because you're just going to kill an Arrakis drone and
Mm.
spawn another one. So really good card. I would argue she might be a little bit too good, but we'll see. Um,
Dude, if that's the world we live in, I'm happy with that.
yeah, I'm a massive fan of her. So I've always had like a game plan where I use the unicorn Il Huraquox, probably
Mm.
butchered that, and you
That's about
pull
right.
Kelly round one.
Right.
Now she's 9 base strength. That can be like amazing, especially
Way
if you
easier
pull
to
like a
do.
Regis or a Geralt out of someone's deck.
Mm.
It's a really nice play to make round one.
Yeah, I think
So
having it
really
at
like the
9 is
change.
like because it was 6 previously, right? Which is in a
Mhm.
range of a lot of things, right? You can get assassinated or
Yeah.
parasite or whatever. I think 9 just
Mhm.
kind of means it's a lot harder to remove. I definitely think 9 was on purpose. It wasn't 8.
Mhm.
Like it was definitely
Mhm.
9 to be able to be taken out by Geralt and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I think what's cool about her as well is you can previously I'd only use her in Eredin decks for that reason. Like you
mm,
can just give her a shield with Eredin.
yeah,
Whereas now you can use her sort of across the board. And in Eredin decks as well, it probably makes them better because you can focus your shield on other things. Like I've
yeah.
been experimenting with Siri Dash and just whacking you're
Mm.
like not really too worried. So I really like the change to Kelly. I think she opens up quite a lot of different decks you could try and build around her.
Yeah, but it's just interesting, right? Like it's fun.
Mhm.
It's a fun
Mhm.
it's a fun mechanic.
And also, she can never be too good because if she's meta, then people just play movement.
Yeah, it's kind of like Regis. It's like Regis is never going to be like meta because if he is, everyone just plays around him.
Mhm.
If Regis is like he's good because you don't expect him,
Yeah.
or you find out it's him too late. You know.
Mhm.
So, so have you run into much of like what's your syndicate experience? Because that's kind of what people were probably complaining about the most, right? Was Dijkstra
Mhm.
and Bounty to a lesser extent. What's been your experience?
Yeah. I've not played against much Syndicate.
Mm,
The coins are bugged as well at the moment, which probably
yeah,
threw me off. But
yeah,
hopefully that'll get sorted soon. I imagine that's not great for people playing the faction either, because they're sort of having to imagine how many coins
yeah. It's not good.
you've got. But it did surprise me quite a lot when Ewald came down and wiped my whole board when I thought he had 3 coins. That was a little bit tough. But no, I think with Syndicate, I've always been sort of a little bit on the fence with them, like sort of leaning towards not a massive fan.
Mm.
I think bounty was probably a massive issue with that. I do like the bounty change a lot
It's
because
thematic
a
too.
problem. Yeah,
Any
with
thematic
Syndicate,
changes, like with the
yeah, that's
having
it.
one bounty at a time, just makes sense.
Yeah, it does. With Syndicate being able to play crime cards for like nothing on the board, so I
mm,
can't deal damage to their side of the board, like and being able to set so many bounties, that's a massive issue.
yeah.
I feel like that's still maybe a slight thing, but Swindle got a nerf as well, which I think was pretty important.
Mm,
Those 4 provision cards, I feel like were too good really. So I think Syndicate will still be all right. I definitely think that it needed to move away from bounty so we can see some
mm.
other archetypes develop there,
Yeah, I
like
agree.
in Hamilpart. And they've still got like some amazing cards. Like I got Philippa yesterday, and I forgot sort of about her because
I
bounty was my
remember
problem.
that.
So I think I think Syndicate will be doing all right in a few
Yeah,
patches. I think it
me
was a
too.
very healthy change.
Yeah, yeah,
And
me too.
thank God Dijkstra's just been toned down. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean he's still good, which is I like. He's just not as
Hmm.
insane, which is
Hmm.
which is good. Yeah, and like the
Yeah.
bounty change, I think was very fair. It
Hmm.
was just running wild. Apparently, Fizztech is the new Swindle. By the way, everyone's just running Fizztech
Oh
now.
yeah, that. How many coins do you get for that? Do you get
4,
$4
yeah, 4
and
and a
poison, right?
poison.
Yeah.
So I got like annihilated today. People are just running double Fizztech, just like destroyed.
I,
Like I think
I
Spellblood or
must
Champion of Spellblood just died.
I must say I do like the fact Poison's sort of making a an entrance. It looks pretty good in Scoia'tael as well. Like, I was
Dude,
watching Pumpkin and he was sort of saying there's no reason not to play a Poison,
nope.
like a few Poison cards. So it's cool though that we've got Poison back. It makes Purify better as well. So and
Yeah, which
we've
they've
got a few
added. They've added a few more purifiers, right? Which I like. That means you can.
Gremist and Hydra, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. Those were
You
probably
know,
I think the two main ones.
the classic. They're the open beta mages. So I wonder if Death Mold might get something similar. But
Mm.
yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Ida got a rework that wasn't on the patch notes,
Yeah.
so I believe she now. I'm not exact. Is it like gain vitality
Um,
in the
I
front
think
row
it's
rather than the
5.
boosts?
It's 5 for 8. Purify melee, vitality 3 ranged or vitality 4
Mhm,
ranged. I think
mhm.
is something like that.
So I'm not sure I'm a massive fan of that. I always thought Ida was quite good.
I liked the old Ida.
I quite like having flexible artifact tate as well, so
Mm.
things like summoning circle aren't too difficult to tech against. But we'll
Yeah,
see.
I don't not
I
like
guess they
new
want.
Ida. I'd like the old Ida.
Mhm.
Maybe just another card would be good.
Yeah, I guess they want all factions to have that sort of purify card. She's very
Yeah.
similar to Queen of the Night now, right?
Very.
Grand
Yeah.
Misters as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, it makes sense. I wonder if they rather than getting rid of Ida, they could have given a different ability
Yeah. I mean, it's. I
to the
think
card.
it's very possible we'll just see like Ida, old Ida 2 in like a new expansion, just as like a different card.
Mhm.
There's
That's true.
different power and provisions, but
I was saying on my stream last night something similar about Ceres as well. So Ceres has got that rework. I love Ceres's old ability.
mm,
So hopefully there's a Ceres Fearless card from Open Beta, so there's already an artwork for that.
right.
Hopefully we'll see that. That would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be
Um,
cool to see that come back. And Scoia'tael Poison. We got to talk about that for a sec. It's pretty good. Like
it does
it's
seem good.
surprising how good it is. Like Weeping Willow
Hmm.
is I think might be the like sleeper card of this patch.
Hmm.
Like
Been
if it
getting like buffs every patch, hasn't it? It's about time.
yeah, like it's a 6 for 7 with Harmony and it's a treant. That would just see play, I think.
Hmm.
People would just play that.
Hmm.
But you also get to give poison or shield. So it's like
Yeah.
versatile, which is like king in card games. Versatility is like very good. So you just run poison, and then you just run like a couple of like what are they Dryad ranges, the 3 for 5, hit for
Hmm.
2, give poison, which I think what people would again just run even if it didn't have poison. 3 for 5
Yeah.
damage 2 harmony. It's pretty good.
It is. Yeah.
It's not
Harmony seems
hard.
like it's really strong right now.
Yeah, yeah, I
Early
agree.
days.
Yeah, like I've been playing like a hard Dana, I know, but a Dana like poison harmony. It's done pretty well.
Hmm.
Done pretty
I
well.
mean, I like Danish. She's similar to Clamp, right? So I'm a fan.
Yeah, I can
Can't
imagine.
complain. I think Fran's where it's at though, right? I imagine like she might even. I wouldn't be surprised to see her get like a provision
Yeah, I was
decrease. Just early,
surprised to see her go to
super early.
15.
But I think even like before the patch dropped, sort of everybody was jumping on. Right, looks like Fran's gonna be where it's at with the. You just got a lot of flexibility with her now, right?
Yeah, yeah, like I've been playing a friend dwarves as well, and that deck's a monster. Just like
Mm.
it's
I've always been
pretty
very scared of
brutal.
Fran dwarfs.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
even like the like everyone thinks friend dwarves like the mercenaries. It's not even why it's good. It's just like a
mm.
lot of points in that deck.
That really does scare me though. That Novigradian Justice
Yeah,
for series
yeah, or
that
like
scares me.
for defenders, just
Yeah.
yeah, it can be pretty gnarly.
Hmm.
So I think that it might see a change at some point.
So we were talking about the is it? I'm gonna get it wrong. I feel like it's called Call of the Forest. It's got
Yeah,
Lauren on the card art.
yeah.
Is that what it's called? Did I get it right?
Call of
Wow.
the Frost. Yeah,
So we
pretty
were
sure.
talking about that yesterday in your stream. I was sort of saying how overpowered it is, but then so just so everyone knows, it's a temper vision card. It's a spell card, and it's essentially Raw the Cree for a Scoia'tael unit, but it buffs it by 2.
Mm,
So my first sort of standpoint was, wow, that card is everywhere. It's really good. You
me
can use
too.
it on Great Oak, like you mentioned. Shiru, I've seen it be, and
Mm,
I think Shiru could be a little bit scary this patch. We'll
easy
see.
5 or 4 with Ethny. Sorry, with
Yeah,
Precision Strike.
yeah.
We'll get to that
So
later.
we'll get on to that for sure. But realistically, it's 2 points on a roll decree, so you can't really
Yeah,
argue with it too much. But it's
yeah.
it's it's got nice synergy with stuff like Sheldon. If you don't have Sheldon in your hand, you can call that in at 5, which I
Mm.
don't think is too overpowered either. So
You can pull it with
yeah, pretty
4
cool
too,
card.
which gives 4 another use.
Hmm.
Yeah, which is nice. So you can have like Borders of Brooklyn in your hand, or Call the Forest with 4. Seems good.
Hmm. That is very good. Yeah.
Yeah. What else did we miss? You seen any Fall Test? I haven't seen it one Fall Test the whole time I've played. I've hardly seen
No,
Northern
so I
Realms at
mean,
all, actually.
yeah, I mean with full test, lots of provision changes, right?
Mm.
Um, Obviously, it lost the 2 point buff, which I don't really know why they added that, but I don't think it's
Yeah,
a massive
it's
deal.
unnecessary. No, no, neither do I.
Um, but I think it makes sense, like for Selkirk, I think
I
especially,
think
just
that was
like
the main offender, was
yeah,
Selkirk. Yeah.
yeah. Obviously, then Pavetta got like a slight nerf, 1 provision. I think Roach Merciless got a slight nerf as well, but
Yeah, he got
nothing major. I think,
a power and a provision, I think. So is he 412 now?
yeah, hmm
Yeah, or
yeah. I'm
413,
not 100
whatever he
percent
wasn't
sure.
before.
Yeah, I think the big one for a lot of Northern Realms decks is Draug, right? Just being in the a single row, it
Mm.
really does limit his power. Still a great card,
Yeah, I agree.
but nowhere near as unbelievable. So the thing you've got to consider with Draug is you've got to play him in the row as well.
Mm.
So you can only have 8 Revenants in that row then, which limits it massively, right? It really does. So I think that's a good change to Draug. A lot of Northern Realms have just been relying on Draug, so hopefully we'll see some decks like Meave.
Yeah.
Clamp Force has the potential where you don't need to play Draug, and then Draug it becomes slightly more niche for full test decks where you're spamming commanders. So I think full test will still be great,
Mm.
but it'll be interesting to see how good. Who knows?
Yeah, it's interesting to see like what happens when super top tier decks just become a bit worse, because then all the counters that were just in the other side to beat them
Mm-hmm.
now don't need to do that. So that all changes. It's very interesting to see how like card game metas evolve over like the first week of like a new patch or a
Mm-hmm.
new expansion, because it just anything can happen. Just weird stuff comes out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Hopefully, it's gonna be Caltulis.
oh god, he's an easy like, if he ever becomes good, he's an easy removal.
I
It's
mean,
just
I'm gonna
like,
have to stop you there because it is a she. I'm sorry.
oh sorry, is
That's
it?
like that's the classic thing. Like,
Have you heard her voice line?
yeah,
It's a she.
it's
They changed the voice line,
yeah,
right? It's not. It's less.
yeah. I think my understanding is there's a glitch at the moment. I want to say it's a bug because there's quite a lot of voice lines that have been changed. Like the
Yeah.
voice lines are the same, but the voice actor sounds different. I
Oh
feel like
really?
it's a bug. Like they've lost maybe some editing on the voice. Eridin sounds slightly different as well
Huh.
in his emotes. And then people were telling me Morkvarg Shoop. So maybe like those sort of. I feel like there might just be a bug because
Oh
the
weird.
Keltulis one sounds very similar, but it sounds like a
Sounds.
different voice
Yeah,
actor.
it does. I did
But
notice
it also
some.
does pacing of it sounds quite similar. So I hope it's a bug because it doesn't sound as good.
No, it
I'll be
doesn't.
honest.
Yeah, I actually
So
heard some new voice, like quite a few actual new voice lines, like new
yeah,
recordings, which is weird for like cards that, like it was like a, Hayme
I've heard Scours.
Skald. Is that the guy that
Yeah,
discards a card? He has like this super long voice line. It went on for like 15 seconds. It's like
no,
went on to into
I've
my
heard
turn.
Hjalmar's. Hjalmar's had a slight updated voice line as well.
Yep, yep. He starts with something different. It's quite a few actually. Cool. It's
Pretty
cool.
interesting. They're still recording voice lines.
Yeah.
I guess maybe they were recording voice lines for like new cards, and they're like, "Do you mind just doing a couple here?" So that
Yes.
makes sense.
Yes. Sneak one in here for old Hjalmar. Okay. Okay. I'll do it.
Yeah, it does seem odd, but I mean, fair play to them. I hopefully, I do really hope that it is a bug with those other voice lines, so where it does sound different, because
Mm.
especially Kelly, like that, she's my favorite voice lines in the game, like just delivered to perfection.
They
So,
are very well done. Yeah. Well, time will tell, I guess.
mhm.
All right. Well, let's move on from that, and let's go. Let's go into the big topic, which is
Yeah, let's do it.
with the news that came with the latest patch video.
Hmm.
So it's not happened yet. It's started to happen. It's going to happen later on, probably pretty soon. I would imagine, maybe like a patch or two. I'd say either with or before the next expansion, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I'd say most likely with the next
Yeah,
expansion. It seems like they're gearing up for it.
definitely before mobile because I think that's what it's for.
Mm.
So basically, what's happening is currently the in Gwent you pick a leader and that leader comes with an ability. They're the same thing. They're one and the same, right? So they're completely disconnecting those. So you pick a leader as essentially a skin, and that's within that faction, and any leader goes, and then you pick an ability. So instead of having them combined, you just pick each one, so you can mix and match essentially. A lot of people really are against the change. SpecimenGwent over here is one of them. Some
Yeah.
are not so much, which is me. Um, so I'll let you start. What were your initial thoughts when you heard it on the video?
Um, I mean, I think it's important to sort of talk about their process of like why they're going for it first, and then
Definitely.
because I mean I understand their process, but I just disagree with sort of the implementation of it. So I mean, the reason they gave was they want to disconnect models because sorry, the leader to the ability. So they can make essentially more vanity items, right? So they gave the example of Unseen Elder, like the new skin they gave. Probably spent ages on it
Yeah,
on a new 3D model. No one plays it because that's not in the meta at the moment, which I think is a fair enough thing, right? If you're spending
yep,
all this time on vanity items, you want people to use them. So
for sure.
this opens up a way to use skins for different abilities. Um, Also, it puts emotes back into like the player's hands. Like I can just choose to have clamp emotes all the time if I'm playing Northern Realms, which is pretty cool. If I'm playing a Araka Swarm, as it's now called, I don't just have to have like
Nothing.
emotes. I can have something else, which is cool. I like that. It sort of brings me back to open beta where I could
Mm,
just play Yennefer or Dandelion and have like my favorite emotes sort of whenever I wanted. So I understand that's sort of like their reason for doing it. However, I strongly believe it's a massive mistake.
okay.
Like, there's quite a lot of reasons why, and I know you disagree, which is good, right?
Yep. Yep.
Have that discussion, but I think my main problem with it is it's unbelievably confusing, in my opinion, for both new players, existing to an extent, but mainly returning players as well. So, like, let's say someone played Open Beta Gwent, which I
Mm.
know there's lots of people that don't play anymore, they might come back and then like, what on earth is this? Like
Especially for mobile. Like
precision strike.
there'll be a lot of people coming
Uh-huh.
back from mobile, I think, and you
Mhm.
just new players too. But yeah,
Yeah, so I think that's one issue I have. I would say the bigger issue I have though is just like I just feel like what Gwent's had for since its sort of conception is that leader identity has always been pretty cool.
yep.
Even going back to Witcher 3, like being able to play an Emir deck, for instance. Like I know Emir had like different cards and stuff, but you have that definite like this is my leader card. I'm playing this deck. I'm playing a Calanth deck. Um, I'm playing a Dijkstra deck. Whereas I feel like if you I'm moving to a pincer maneuver deck. It just for me, it just doesn't sound like it. I'm not a fan
Yep.
personally. I think Witcher Law's so cool. I think it makes so much more sense to have Foltest leading a commando's army. It makes sense to have um, Eredin leading like a Wild Hunt army, which admittedly we have already moved away from in Homecoming. But I still think like I'm not a massive fan of like the idea of like I know a lot of people talked about how Eredin could maybe spawn Wild Hunt units if he's like in an Arrakis Queen deck, which could be pretty cool. But I just think like disconnecting these abilities is a really bad idea. And my sort of way forward, I would like to see it go, is all this seems to be having been done for the sake of the models. I would personally just not a big fan of the models generally speaking, never have been. I would always much rather have the card art on the board. I know it's a massive change, but I feel like if models are causing so many problems to the extent where you're having to disconnect leaders and their abilities, just for the sake of models, I think the card arts are better looking. I feel like they fit the game better. And I think models were maybe a mistake. It's hard to say. I think they look all right on the board, but obviously up close they do look dreadful as well.
Yeah, they
And
need some
then
work.
in terms of vanity items as well, you could have some amazing ideas with that. Like you could have a completely different premium art and a completely different setting for like a different skin, which seems like it will be a lot less work than these 3D models, which they say have been like a big strain on them. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's mostly everything I want to say. I just feel like 3D models aren't really worth the aggro. Like if this is they're making us lose like leader abilities, disconnecting them, it's not for me.
Right. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Such
I mean,
a
it makes
thanks, Dave.
sense. I mean, it's like they're fair criticisms, right? And you know, everyone's got their own, I guess, experience with what's been in the game in the past, and what they think the models should or shouldn't be, or stuff like that. So I think it's good to talk about it. Here's kind of my thought. So when I heard it first, I was like, okay, this is a big change. And
Mm,
like everyone, I don't think there's anyone who initially heard that and they were like, oh, sweet. That's awesome. Like, I don't think anyone was probably like that. Everyone would have had a bit of skepticism for sure.
mm,
And I was definitely skeptical. So, yeah, okay, like, we'll see what happens. They were pretty stoked about it, and their reasoning, like you said, was basically vanity items, right? So, um, for a couple of ways, I guess. So they say they make things for, say, Unseen Elder, because it thematically fit with the Crimson Curse, which was in that blood armor. That was like their first expansion, so the skin came with it. No one plays Unseen Elder, no one's ever going to see it, right?
mhm,
So that's
mhm.
that's obviously an issue, like you said. And the other issue is that they need to sell more.
Yeah,
Gwent needs ways to make money, essentially, because it's a free to play game. I wouldn't hazard to guess what the stats are, but I can imagine there's a lot of people who played open beta, have enough scraps to last them a long time, and do not need to spend any money on Gwent to get every single
yeah.
card.
I've never spent a penny apart from on Thronebreaker.
Right, yeah.
I've been playing Gwent for like almost 3 years.
I'm different, so I got in. I played about 10 hours of open beta, so I've put a bit of money into it. But there's a lot of people like that, right? Who either have the scraps and don't need to buy anything, so they're essentially not giving Gwent money, right? Which is obviously
Hmm,
fine because it's free to play. That's the
hmm.
point. But they need a way to make money, right? And their reasoning is that
Yeah.
they can split them off so they can make a skin for Voltest, and then anyone who plays Northern Realms can now appreciate that skin. And I totally agree that that's a good idea and good for the game in general. I don't think
Mhm.
anyone would disagree that that's not good for the game because
Yeah, they need to make money. Like I've
yeah,
always been sort of it's weird, isn't it, with Gwent? You're always like, charge me more money, which is very rare for a game because it's very free to play, which is brilliant, but they do
yeah,
need that money.
yeah. I think we would be more aware to it as streamers of the game. Where if you're just like a casual player, it's like sweet, just play Gwent, it's free, it's great, and it is great. It's very generous. But like as people who play it like every single day and live and breathe it, essentially, it's like they got to make some money. Otherwise, we might have some issues down the line if they're not making any money. So I think it's good
Mhm.
that that's in there. As for the actual like change itself, I was still a little bit skeptical until I saw the names. And I know you don't like the names at
Mhm.
all, right?
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
You're not a fan of the names. I saw the names, I looked through
No.
every single one, and I was like, you know what? Seeing the names and the little icons that go with them to a lesser extent put pretty much any doubt to rest
Hmm.
for a couple of reasons. So one of them was I think that the names really do have they're all very unique, right? None of them are super like there's maybe a couple that are kind of similar, but they're very much them, and the icon is quite unique, and I don't think it'll be too hard to remember them and what one is.
Hmm.
And I think they give a lot of context too, like um, inspired zeal, right? That's the Foltest one, so it gives zeal, sweet. So it's in the name for that, and I just feel like I could just once seeing that name in that icon, I could attach that to any Northern Realms leader and be like, sweet, they're using inspired zeal, like
Hmm.
not a problem. And I presume that the provisions will be attached to, and they'll have to show that somehow. Um,
Hmm.
so personally, I like the names, and I think they look pretty good,
Hmm.
and the icons look good
I
too.
think I think what you mentioned with provisions as well. Hopefully, that does like sort of become. Obviously, it's quite. I think it's more difficult to attach provision cost to
Yeah,
a sort of name rather than like a leader card as well. So that might be like
yeah, it'll have to be in the UI
a
somewhere.
bit of trouble. But I think as well with the new cutscene they've got at the start, I imagine the flag in the background will change to like a flag of the ability. I think
Mm.
that's sort of what they might be trying to go down that route.
Yeah, well, it needs to be very clear, right?
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, and as for having different leaders with, let's say everyone likes to use the example of like Rock spawning Arnulf. Sure,
Yeah.
it'll be weird for like a little bit, right? But like that's the kind of thing. So I saw the name for that, and I think it's called like Patricidal Fury. I think is the name.
Yeah, it is.
And for me, I just saw that name. Like, okay, I see Krak with that name. He like engages his Patricidal Fury, and Arnulf like freaking sprints in and jumps on the battlefield. I feel like it just makes sense. Um,
Hmm.
and it's not as weird as I initially like. Oh, that's going to be weird if Krak makes an Arnulf, but honestly with the name, it's maybe like, oh, okay. That I feel like that makes more sense.
Yeah, that's a good point you make. I think like a big one everyone talked about as well was the Arrakis Queen, sort of the Arrakis Swarm,
Mm.
being played Eridan. You could, like you say, you could just make it so Eridan, if he's in an Arrakis Swarm, would spawn like one strength wild hunt units or something like that. Even like Crack could maybe become, I don't know, like on your offers at the moment, you could just put Crack's card down on the board
Mm.
if you want
Yeah,
like
I mean that puts
Patricide of
more
Fury or
work, I
something
guess,
like
but
that. But
mm.
yeah, I mean, I just, even though I don't think it's a disaster, I do think it's a step in the wrong direction still. I really love having like a Calanth deck, an Eridin deck. I think that's always been a core of Gwent. And I also would argue I'd be more likely to put my hand in my pocket for like an alternative premium artwork of my favorite leader rather than an alternative skin. I
Right.
feel like the skins are somewhat, they're cool, especially the Unseen Elder one. But like for instance, Calanth has got, she's got her normal blue skin and she's got the yellow banana
The
skin.
yellow one
Would
is
I pay money for a yellow banana skin?
it's not yeah, it's not very
Not
good.
really.
It's definitely one of the
Um,
weakest skins for sure.
yeah, but no, I think look, it's see how it plays out. Um, I'm pretty skeptical. We'll see
Mm.
how it goes. It does make sense. I
Yeah.
understand why they're doing it, but I don't think it's a great idea because the game's been around for so long as well, and you've got all these returning players. It's going to really put a lot of people off. I do feel, just like from the get go.
Yeah, I think initially it's definitely going to be weird, but honestly, here's my big call, right? My hot take. I think within let's say a month. I think within a
Hmm.
month, like aside from like the people who maybe just come back or just pop in and out, like the regular Gwent players, within a month, I think everyone will have forgotten, and it's just going to be like how we don't have silver cards anymore, or how we don't have
Yeah.
a third row. Like you think
Hmm.
I'm like I can vaguely remember how the uproar when Gwent was like, we're getting rid of the siege row.
Hmm.
Feel like it's not my Gwent. Gwent's always had three rows. Like no one cares about the siege row anymore. I feel like it's going to be one of those things. I could be wrong. That's kind of just
Hmm.
the gut feeling I've got. Within a month, it's going to be water under the bridge essentially. That's my
Yeah.
hot take. I mean, as
Well,
for
we disagree. It's fine, isn't it?
yeah, I mean
It's
that's why we're
interesting
here.
talk.
Exactly, exactly. Then we can come back and say you were right or I was right, or
Hmm.
no one was right. But yeah, it's an interesting decision anyway. And it's with the leader thing too, like because I've heard a lot of people say kind of what you said with bringing the cards back, right? Because the leaders used to be cards, they didn't used to be models. Personally, I have always liked, and maybe this is just bias from not playing a ton of like old Gwent. Like I said, probably played
Hmm.
10 hours, like really not much. But I've always liked the leaders. I think they give a sense of they make the game feel alive, in my opinion. Like, because I
Hmm.
played a lot of Hearthstone, thousands of hours of Hearthstone, and you never really feel like you're doing anything else other than playing a card game. You've got your cards in
Hmm.
your hand. You've got your little lever avatar who doesn't move. It's you've got your little icons. You're on a board, and it's very much like you're playing a card game, which it's a card game, so it makes sense. But Gwent, I feel, has always had this sense of like livingness by having these characters on the board and react to losing or getting winning the coin flip or emoting and they like freaking point their sword over there. Like I just feel like it's given like a really good sense of like personality. I would be sad
Yeah.
to lose that
Hmm.
just to like
No, I
have
do.
them as cards again.
Yeah, I do agree. I think it's with models. I can sort of take or leave them. I like I do like the models, not when they're zoomed in.
No,
But when
they
they're
they need to be
in their
updated a little bit.
normal, as they're designed to be used, I don't dislike them. I think I would prefer the card art,
Yeah,
but that's
that's
just
fair.
my personal preference.
Yeah, I mean, I love the card art. I really do hope. I'm sure they will. I just don't know how, because when they disconnect the leader, I don't know how the UI is going to look, but I really do hope they fit those card arts and somewhere prominent, because
I don't think they can.
it would
I
be a
don't think
shame
they
to
can
have them
continue with
like
those models.
it would be a shame to have them fall back and
Yeah,
not see
I
them.
think I think those models at the start of the game will not.
You
That
don't
can't
think so?
run. I'm very surprised it got through. No, they said like with the models, like a big reason they were doing it is how much work they put into it. So if they're putting so much work into these models, they're not going to be able to upgrade them to the point where their lips move, for example, which is
Mm.
very disconcerting
That's
when
quite jarring.
yes. So
Yeah,
I would imagine we'll see the leader card arts in the intro screen again. I don't think there was any reason to sort of get rid of
mm.
them, and then
That's going to
you
be
could maybe have the
interesting,
flag in the background.
because I think they're going to stay, and I'm
Oh, I
hoping they're
hope
gonna.
not.
I hope they update them, because they're like, some of them are okay. Like Woodland Spirit, I saw.
Calvate's
He
all
was
right as
pretty
well.
good. Yeah, Calvate. Like, some of them just. Have you seen the sideburns on that dude? By the way, I never noticed them until he was right up close. He's got some big
I've
sideburns.
I've not.
They're,
Can't say
they're,
I have.
they're pretty huge. But yeah, like, some of them are definitely worse than others. Like Meave looks like she's made out of like clay. Um, Gitakora's pretty nasty, but then some of them are good. So like Woodland Spirit and stuff. So I just hope they update them if they're going to keep them. If they keep them and don't update
Mhm.
them, it's going to be a bit jarring. But I think that the UI overall is actually really good. It's going to be great on mobile. Like, everything's just so big and like super clear. I
Yeah,
think when you've got it like on your phone, it's going to look really good.
yeah. I'm looking
So,
forward to getting on my iPad for sure.
me too. I've got it ready, man. It's like so ready. I'm just sitting here. I don't know if you saw. I made a video on my second YouTube channel, which is very small, but it's just about Gwent, of how to play Gwent on your iPad now using like Steam Link and in-home streaming.
Nice.
It works okay, but I was like, just
Mhm.
give me the real one, please.
I used to have a PS Vita like back when it came out
Oh,
ages ago, and you could do share play with it. And I wish I still had the thing because
oh,
it was touchscreen as
that
well.
would
So
be great.
yeah, but alas,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're waiting too long, right? They keep seeming to say like, you know, third or fourth
yeah,
quarter, probably fourth quarter, I guess. But they've been talking about it a bit more, and there was some footage released just a couple of days ago of it apparently playing on an iPhone. Um, it looks pretty good to me, so I'm hoping we see
yeah,
it soon. And then, of course, Android
definitely
eventually.
exciting.
I'd
Lots of
consider
people will be
I'd consider
around.
buying a second hand like $100 iPhone just to play it on the go.
Hmm. I need to buy a new phone today actually, and it's an iPhone is definitely playing on my mind for a reason.
I wonder why. Cool. All right. Well, I think that pretty much covers all the topics. I just had a thing of here of other miscellaneous thoughts. If you had anything else to that you want to mention or talk about for the new patch, or what's going on in Gwent, but
I was just going to mention the news that CDPR sort of said that The Witcher and Cyberpunk are going to be in like a dual franchise model, so sort of like Call of Duty has in a similar way, where
mm.
it'll be Witcher, and then not a year later, but like 5 years later,
Imagine
whatever, it'll be
that every
Cyberpunk.
year there's like a Witcher 3 level game.
I'd take
It'd be too much.
it.
You'd be like, you just get
it'd be
overrun. You need a
it'd be
full time
brilliant
job
launch every year.
playing Witcher games.
Uh-huh. So that's pretty exciting,
Yeah,
and
I'm keen.
there was some there was some Cyberpunk gameplay yesterday as well.
I
That
watched that probably 2 hours ago. It's like
mhm.
full screen, headphones on, like volume up,
Yeah,
quality up. I watched the whole thing and like, this game looks good.
yeah, I'm excited for that one for sure.
Yeah, you're gonna get a a more powerful gaming machine to play it
What do
on.
you mean? What
Oh,
do you mean?
well, I've just in hinting that the PS4 may not be the prime system to
Way to
enjoy
play.
Cyberpunk 2077 on.
Yeah, we've also actually, since you mentioned it, PS4 has got a lovely new glitch where the
Oh,
game
really?
slows down to unplayable pace every so often. It's only happened to me once, but a few people were complaining of it. It
The
was
Gwent.
I forfeited. Yeah, I forfeited, and 20 seconds later the game ended. It's it's a struggle, but it only happened once.
PS4's
We had a glitch
excellent.
on PS4 about a month or two ago where like my board would just go dark after about 5 games, and everyone would be like, "What's up with your board?"
I think I might have
Every
seen that
time.
actually. It might have been on a Friday stream. I don't even know Friday's there. He's the only other
Mhm.
PS4 Gwent streamer I know. And I think I might have seen that in his stream
Mhm.
too. I'm like, what is up with your Gwent? It's
Yeah,
his
that's
PS4.
you get. I got that question a lot, so I don't miss that one.
No. Yeah, one thing I'm interested to see is how when mobile comes out, which is soon, how they do cross account.
Hmm.
So like like I hope when it comes out they're like, all right, we've figured it out. You can now play any account on any system. That's all they got to tell me. Because like
Hmm.
I think PC will be fine. Like PC is normally not an issue, so I'm pretty confident that
I,
anyone.
I would I would imagine Xbox will be as well. I think it might be PS4 that's the
Sony's
one that
always
maybe doesn't get it.
the one, isn't it? Aren't they? Who've recently who have tended to be a bit more closed up. But man, it's gonna suck if like PS4 players have to make a new account for mobile. It's gonna suck.
Hmm.
So I hope
Yeah, it
they
would be
can
a little
fix
bit.
that up.
So
Yeah.
with when the first leaked image of the Syndicate faction came out, which was like hidden in the Cyberpunk trailer, also like found was like a GOG 2.0 sort of screenshot that was like distorted quite a lot, and it did look like there was something to do with PS4, Xbox, PC players in there. So hopefully
Mm,
they've got something in the works linked to GOG 2.0.
yeah.
But I'm not gonna hold my breath about PS4. I think if you're Xbox, you're probably fine because like links with Microsoft and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
PC's pretty much a guarantee, I'd say. Xbox, hopefully. PS4, please.
yeah, we'll see.
For my
We'll see.
PS4
It's not the
brethren.
end of the world if you have to start a new account. I've actually got a little myself.
Mm.
I don't have a full collection, but I've played a lot of games on there. I
It'd be
think I've
nice
just
if
got
you
like
could, like.
500 kegs to open, so I probably would have a full collection once I get rid of them.
It's a horrible problem to have, isn't it? Streamer complains
Yeah,
about having 500 kegs to open. Oh, so much time.
on his old account, nevertheless. As well.
Ah, first world problems, man. First world Gwent
I do
problems.
have to turn premiums off though in order to play. So there we go.
It's
It's on my
it's
laptop.
it's a fair compromise.
Yeah. All right, mate.
Yeah, that was good, dude.
Check.
Where can people find you? They want to go and check you out.
I'm on Twitch, twitch.tv/SpecimenGwent. I have a YouTube channel as well, but I wouldn't worry about that because it's a little bit dead at the moment.
I'll
Once
put it
I've
on
got more
screen
time,
either way.
we'll top man. Appreciate it.
Go and
Yeah.
you can find me on Twitch as well. Twitch.tv/Zade_95. The underscore really kills me, dude. Like I'm like, oh, like 'cause I had to rebrand everything. Like I wanted to get everything in sync, so everything is like Zade_95. But there was like one platform where I couldn't get no underscore. I can't remember. It might have been YouTube. So I was like, I had to
Damn.
bite the bullet and put everything underscore. So _95, and same with Twitter and YouTube as well.
Sweet mate.
That was fun, man. We
I
should
can go and I'm gonna get this mop chopped. I've just been looking at it for the last 20 minutes in absolute disgust.
dude, it looks alright, man.
Yeah. This is the
Looks
longest
pretty
you can
close
get.
to the sides.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I
Oh,
have to see what it
I'm
looks
not
like
a fan, but
afterwards.
we'll get it sorted. Smart.
uh, we should do this again
All
sometime,
right.
man. That was fun.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right.
All right, sounds good, dude.
Bye.